The way he took out Anthony Joshua?
I know.
You know, Jake wants to fight Anthony Joshua now? Well, they're like, what about now? What about fight him now? He's like, no, I want to wait till 2026. Okay.
To put on weight?
Put all the steroids, every steroid they have.
I would want.
Joe Rogan has strongly criticized Jake Paul for agreeing to fight Anthony Joshua. Rogan said this is the kind of matchup that will finally make Jake understand the reality of boxing at the highest level. He even joked that Jake might need PEDs just to make Joshua feel a punch if he doesn't pull out now. Jake sent out multiple offers to several fighters, including Terrence Crawford. Many were ready to take the deal, but the matchup that ended up being confirmed might be the most dangerous fight of Jake's career.
Dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists. What he did to Francis Ngannou, good lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yes.
Rogan argued that stepping in with a real heavyweight like Joshua is not just a small move upward, it's almost like jumping straight off a cliff. He explained that while Jake's previous fights created big numbers and attention, they were never against someone with Joshua's size, strength, or long list of achievements. Beating older MMA fighters, or a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, is one thing. Facing a man who has competed at the top of heavyweight boxing for more than 10 years and has knocked out major names is something else entirely.
I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and
That's why this fight has opened the door to so much criticism. Even Dana White, who usually avoids getting pulled into these discussions, couldn't hide his reaction when asked about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua at a recent press event. White didn't hold back. He said the fight is a terrible idea. He believes Jake is way out of his depth and that the risk for both the fighter and the sport is extremely serious. White added that the matchup doesn't help Joshua in any meaningful way and could leave Jake badly hurt.
Fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one.
Tommy Fury, who has already beaten Jake Paul, also jumped online with a mix of teasing and warning. In his video, Fury reminded fans that Jake couldn't even defeat him when he fought with a broken hand. He then directed a message at Jake saying, "Jake Paul, I'm still your daddy."
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it.
Carl Froch shares the same view. He called the entire idea embarrassing for boxing. Froch said Jake is fooling himself if he thinks he belongs in the ring with someone like Joshua. In his eyes, the whole thing is more about making money and creating a viral moment rather than showing true boxing skill. But Jake insists that boxing should be grateful to him for bringing so much attention to the sport.
Jake Paul has become the fighter right now that everybody wants to fight because right now he is a cash cow. He made $40 million just off of Netflix.
He has found a way to do something with his following, get under people's skin to make people care.
It's not just Rogan Fury and Froch raising concerns. Amir Khan has also warned that this matchup could be unsafe. Khan said the size and power difference alone could make the fight one-sided and dangerous. He explained that one clean punch from Joshua could seriously injure Paul. Khan believes Jake should stay in weight classes where he has already shown he can compete. Jumping straight into a heavyweight fight like this could damage both his career and his growing reputation.
Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. Anthony Joshua cannot box Jake Paul. Horrific. He's dangerous for one, and two, if Jake Paul even lands a glove on him, it just diminishes everything that he's achieved. Jake Paul won't last 2 minutes for me. Never mind Anthony Joshua. It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
Meanwhile, Jake's camp sees things very differently. Business partner Nikisa Bidarian said the decision to face Joshua was strategic. According to Bidarian, several fighters, including Terrence Crawford, now the undisputed 168-pound champion, accepted offers from Jake, but the team chose Joshua because they felt he was bigger and slower than some of the smaller fighters offered, even if he is extremely powerful.
I'm telling you, be careful what you wish for, because this is the most dangerous thing. This is like tuning in to watch David Blaine. You know when he's in the box and you're wondering whether he's going to get out in time? This is the kind of thing when you tune into his fight. And I've told Nikita, I've told Joe Paul, this ain't David Blaine. This is going in with one of the most fiercest punchers of our generation. And by the way, if you go in there thinking you're going to...
Darian described the matchup as high risk but high reward. Yes, Joshua is huge and hits hard, but Jake may have more chances to show skill against a slower heavyweight than against someone like Gervonta Davis, who is much faster and sharper from their point of view. This isn't just a show. It's a calculated challenge that could raise Jake's standing if he performs well.
Warren's AJ could easily knock out Jake in 2 rounds, but size the power gap poses serious danger. Boxing isn't a game, and this mismatch could lead to someone getting hurt. The fight shouldn't happen, no matter the money involved.
Public perception. Boxing experts remain doubtful. Joshua hasn't fought since being knocked out by Daniel Dubois, but even after that defeat, he is still a heavyweight with big knockout power and years of training far beyond anything Jake has faced. Analysts argue that Jake has never been in the ring with someone close to Joshua's level. The fight could expose gaps in Jake's technique, stamina, and ability to take real heavyweight punches to boxing purists. This isn't a natural step forward. It's almost like throwing Jake into a dangerous situation where the chance of injury or a brutal loss is high.
That's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge.
Rogan's comment about PEDs has only made the debate louder. He didn't accuse Jake directly, but he implied that someone facing Joshua might feel forced to look for any edge just to survive. Fans are now discussing not only the huge skill gap, but also the medical and ethical issues behind a young social media star fighting an elite heavyweight under such extreme conditions.
Jack Paul, if Joshua destroy him, the headache of Jack Paul will go from my mind. If Jack Paul win, I will know that Joshua is finished, and Jack Paul deserve to be ranking and deserve to have future in boxing, right?
Despite all of the concerns, Jake Paul is still moving forward. He has stayed confident in public, promising he will shock the world. From a promotional point of view, this fight is brilliant. It has drama, controversy, and millions of curious viewers. People want to know whether Jake can handle a former heavyweight champion. The event is set for December 19th in Miami, giving the promotion a big stage and a flashy setting.
To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should and what we shouldn't be doing. Answer the question honestly. Would you do it if you're AJ? When are you going to fight a real fighter? Goes well out the window, and I will have to personally provide a wheelbarrow so he can bring his cojones into the ring that night.
Garcia recently summed up Jake's chances in just 3 words: worst possible fight. Speaking on Inside the Ring, Garcia said that if Jake can win even 1 or 2 rounds against Joshua, that alone would feel like a victory. He reminded viewers that Joshua is a big heavyweight with Olympic-level training and championship experience. Garcia added that Jake might be overconfident in his right hand, thinking he can hurt Joshua the way Daniel Dubois did.
Look, but Anthony, listen to me. Don't take a dive with this Jake Paul, mate. Do not do that, not for $1 billion, my pal. Don't do it. Don't do as the others have done. Do not take dives. If he fights, you knock him dead as a nit, and good luck with it.
So I said he's going to bet £1 million on Jake Paul knocking out Joshua.
This is what I'm saying. How's that work? He can't, can he? Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul.
Garcia also called the fight a mix of ambition and overconfidence. He said Jake is chasing big moments more than realistic goals. Jake wants the one punch that makes headlines, but he might not realize that Joshua has dealt with far more powerful fighters than him in heavyweight boxing. Mistakes with distance, timing, or energy can lead to more than a loss. They can change a career, Garcia said. Facing Joshua demands calmness under pressure, something Jake has never been tested on at this level.
We've seen what he can do, and at a level he's very good. You know, the people who he's been fighting, he's been better than a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. He's better than a 50-year-old Mike Tyson. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he was better than what he was. But once again, these are guys who aren't current, who aren't, ranked in the world right now at heavyweight, and who weren't Olympic gold medalists, who,
Ariel Helwani has also raised safety concerns. He brushed aside the idea that the fight harms Joshua's legacy, noting that even Muhammad Ali and George Foreman took unusual matchups during their careers. But Helwani focused on something more urgent: Jake Paul's health. He compared it to Francis Ngannou's brutal knockout loss. where Ngannou lay completely still for a worrying amount of time. Helwani said boxing is a sport where lives can be at risk, and people have died in the ring. He believes Joshua's power and experience, combined with Jake's lack of real heavyweight exposure, make this a potential disaster waiting to happen.
I know I will knocked out, right? Yeah. He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends, but I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of...
David Haye, another former champion, echoed those warnings. Speaking to Sky News, Haye said that if Jake gets stuck on the ropes while Joshua unloads, the results could be catastrophic. He warned that a poorly handled moment could be the end for Jake, possibly the last day he ever fights. While dramatic, Haye's message highlights what many experts have been quietly saying. The size, power, and precision of Joshua make this matchup truly dangerous.
It's a dangerous game. Your brain isn't supposed to rattle around in your head, particularly the way it's going to for Jake Paul when Anthony Joshua starts letting those punches fly. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be, I hope they've got some real good paramedics close by, because it could be.
Promoters have their own views. Frank Warren, speaking 2 seconds out, gave a mixed opinion. He praised Jake Paul for how far he has come, considering he started with social media fame and almost no amateur background. Warren said, Jake deserves credit for taking on real challenges, not just easy fights.
I did not hear nothing about that. I think AJ got that one. Yeah, AJ is a giant world champion. He's a top tier guy. No way that's going to happen. If that happens, I'll be insane. Would Paul be able to pull it off? I mean, it's boxing, one punch can change it. AJ doesn't have the best chin, but I think AJ will take it. AJ has too much.
Warren also addressed the criticism Jake receives. He said it's unfair because Jake has trained hard and stepped in with experienced fighters. Still, Warren made it clear that if Jake lands a clean shot, Joshua could be in trouble.
It's a fight that will generate a lot of viewing figures. The guys will get extraordinarily well paid for it. You've got AJ, who's obviously well known over here. In America, he's not got such a big profile, but Jake Paul certainly has, and lots of followers. It's a fight that I'm sure that AJ will go in as a massive favourite.
He pointed to Joshua's fight with Daniel Dubois as proof that a single punch can change everything. Warren reminded fans that Joshua has not fought since that knockout loss in September 2024. This makes the fight a comeback attempt with a lot at stake. Experts say Joshua is trying to rebuild his momentum for bigger fights in 2026, while Jake's team sees this as a huge opportunity that could reshape crossover boxing.
Level. This is a really dangerous... He ain't fighting a granddad. He isn't fighting a grandfather. It's absolute lunacy. It's insane. It's dangerously insane. Is right.
Jake's camp knows how big the moment is. This isn't just a boxing match, it's a media event that will dominate headlines, social networks, and pay-per-view sales. But it also puts a massive amount of pressure on Joshua's recovery, mindset, and preparation all collide with Jake's unpredictable fighting style, creating a mix of excitement and risk.
Jake Paul will be taking all his meals through a straw for the rest of 2025. Honestly, they better keep an entire hospital ward ready inside the stadium. Nurses, surgeons, CT scans, maybe even a priest, just in case Jake wants to confess all his YouTube sins after I stomp him. I personally like to thank Jake's ego.
Robert Smith, the General Secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control, has publicly said he would not allow the fight to be sanctioned in the UK. He said it would be unsafe and should not be approved. Nakisa Bidarian responded by pointing out that boxing has sanctioned far more dangerous matchups in the past. He mentioned the old Sprott fight more than 10 years ago, saying that bout was worse because the opponent was clearly mismatched and expected to lose. Bidarian believes the Joshua fight is completely different because Joshua is coming to win, not to act as a stepping stone.
I've just seen that. Someone just told me about that. That's mad. Fair play to Jake Paul, first of all, for taking it. But if AJ doesn't knock him out in like 1-2 rounds, then I feel like the fight must be fixed or something, because I'm going to Anthony Joshua, obviously, for the KO.
Bidarian also addressed rumors that Jake's fights are rigged. Critics have pointed to Jake's history of facing retired MMA fighters, inactive boxers, or older opponents, including a 59-year-old Mike Tyson, and claimed there were hidden protections in the contracts. Vidarian denied all of it, saying Joshua is nothing like Jake's past opponents. Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion and an Olympic gold medalist. He is coming to compete, not to play along. He added that Jake genuinely respects Joshua and has praised him in interviews for his Olympic success and knockout wins.
I think that Jake Paul has finally bit off more than he can chew. But good for him. Good for him. I'm actually excited that he took this fight. I think that Anthony Joshua is a viable, legit, former heavyweight champion of the world who is still active and still competing at high level. This isn't a Mike Tyson past his prime, almost 60-year-old Tyson.
Jake Paul himself has spoken about that respect. He admitted that while Joshua was winning Olympic gold, he was still making Vine videos in high school. Jake uses humor about his past, but it also highlights how different their paths have been.
Spoken to Nikisa a few times on it. I mean, there's nothing to report to you that it's close or, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Of course, AJ is exclusive to DAZN. We also work very closely with His Excellency, and although we have no contract with him, we're in talks for big fights next year. Of course, Tyson Fury being one of them, so we'd definitely give him the respect of making sure.
Said he knows the challenge he is facing and understands that Joshua's achievements far outweigh his own. He believes this fight could define his boxing career. But from Rogan and many others in the sport, this could also be the biggest mistake Jake has ever made. What do you think? Does Jake stand any real chance against a heavyweight like Joshua? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.